Hi guys, thanks for joining me again. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Anne and on my channel, I review foreign international content. Today I'm back to review the Greenmathers and we are episode 11 and 12. And oh my goodness. Okay, first of all, I know the hair has changed again. I change all the time. I'm sorry. That's what women do, right? But I'm not sure where you're at, but where I'm at, we went from winter straight to summer. It is so hot. I'm like, humidity, not my friend. It's swimming time and braids are the best. If you're a black girl, I know you feel me, right? Anyway, let's get to it. What is going on? So is Johnhugh alive? Or is this a flashback? I was like, I know we saw her dead body when she was on the ground, so I'm assuming she died, and maybe this is a flashback. It has to be, right? Otherwise that would be really weird. But it was interesting in episode 11. I loved how they addressed the whole issue with the kids, how the kids was so pushed to the end. You have Yeonpyo's son who is completely has gone mute. He's not talking and he's bedwetting, and at school he's not even interested, or he's hiding and trying to do all the homework because he said when Yeonpyo finally agreed that it was her fault, because she tried to blame everybody, the educators, all that stuff, and then realized at the end it was her fault when he wrote down, "It's my mother's wish that I do this," and then it really hurt her. And I don't know, I always thought Yeonpyo, although she got caught up with her son is a genius and became one of those mothers, I felt like she was always the kind of mother that once she got it, she would, self-correct, change course. And she did. I'm glad she was like, I can't believe I did this to my child. She's taking him to therapy and trying to get better. And then I thought it was interesting that Johnhugh was also took his daughter to therapy, who was constantly lying, because the same thing with her. She was pushed so much about education. I mean, she kind of pretty much lost what's reality, what's real and what's not. So I'm glad that they're both like, oh my God, we need to help our children. And then it was so touching that they meet at the clinic, and this is after Yeonpyo obviously had met with the mother. Is it the mother or the aunt? I'm not quite sure who that lady is who's taking care of her son. And she talked about how Johnhugh had come from a family where her mother was schizophrenic, and she was always scared that she would turn out like her own mother and become schizophrenic, right? Because her mother never cared for her. So Yeonpyo, I guess, always wondered why a beautiful woman who had everything would go ahead and do that to herself. So I think when she really got where Johnhugh was coming from, she really felt bad. She was like, I was not a good friend. She will always love me. She was always really nice to me, and I don't feel like I gave her the same, treatment back, to the point where she was like, even the last discussion she had, she was trying to question, like, is that what I did to her? Is that the reason why she went to the brink and committed the suicide? But I feel like they're also giving us more information on Johnhugh. I feel like there's also more there with what's going on, because we saw she was calling Johnhugh to ask for medication because she couldn't sleep. And then it sounded like she was blackmailing her, like, if you don't come to my house, I'm gonna tell everybody about what you did and what you do for extra money. So that was interesting. But I thought it was interesting after Yeonpyo had that, moment of like, you know what, I need to be a better friend. When she bumped into Johnhugh in the clinic, and they started talking, she was more graceful. And it was interesting that they took the kids out to go play and they started talking again, because it's almost like they realized, oh my God, we're in the same situation. Our kids are not doing well because we pushed them so much. And then I love that she invited her for a meal and they're having a meal together. It was so nice to see that. Like, look, let's not destroy each other. Clearly we're in the same boat, right? And then when Johnhugh obviously is hiding from that guy who she, I guess he's looking for drugs or want her to go do the job, obviously, because it's an illegal thing. She's scared to come home, decides to take the kids camping, and then obviously she doesn't have any underwear, or she doesn't have a warm jacket, and calls Yeonpyo to bring it out. I love that initially Yeonpyo was not like, what are you doing here? Like, what's going on? She just was like, here's your coat. What a fun idea to come out and go camping. And she just kind of trusted. And it was interesting when she asked her about what happened that night when obviously Johnhugh died, and how she explained was like, sometimes there's some things that better not knowing all the details, because she knew if she had to tell her how she saw her that night, she'd have to explain to her how she does this side hustle where she gives people drugs. And at this point, even Yeonpyo didn't know that Johnhugh was a nurse, right? Until Yeonpyo's son ends up eating the macarons that had nuts in them because some person gave them to the kids at the camp, and he breaks out in that life-threatening allergic reaction, and then they can't get to a hospital, the ambulance can't get to them, and here is Johnhugh like, oh my god, this child's gonna die and I know I can save this child. And finally she was like, look, I can take care of it, and pulls out her medical bag, and she went to work. And Yeonpyo is like, what is going on here? And then later obviously explains to her, look, I used to be a nurse, I don't practice anymore, I didn't want to let you know, but that's how I was able to, you know, to save your son's life. But I feel bad for Johnhugh, because you saw her husband, right? They can clearly, now we know their relationship was not based out of love. Clearly he made the mistake at the hospital, killed someone. They blame it on Johnhugh, and then Johnhugh was like, look, you're gonna marry me because you destroyed my career, so that way I have a living. And that's how they ended up. So it wasn't really based out of love. And then now the husband is involved in even worse gambling. He's being beat up. People are coming to the home and beating him up. It's just crazy. And then how about that creepy husband of Young Mi? First of all, I was so upset with her in episode 11. The kids tell her straight up, this stepfather is creepy, he is abusive. And then she's like, oh, you know how he is, he's sensitive, we just have to be more understanding. And then she finally sees the picture of Johnhugh in his computer, and then he confesses he slept with her. I knew there was something creepy because he kept on going to visit her, right? So is Johnhugh that innocent in her ways as well? I bet you we're gonna find out more about her real true character. So that was crazy. And then we have the character of Yanjun, who went and confronted those women who are constantly like gossiping, and she's like, do you feel better about this? And they broke out into a fight, and she was celebrating the fact that she beat that woman down. The only thing that bothered me is the fact that they were doing that in front of their kids. I'm like, I don't know if that's the example you want to set. I mean, I get it, like, look, this is how you deal with a bully. On the other hand, I was like, oh no, you know? But it was just, I loved how she was having so much fun with the fact that she was like, I got her, okay? I got her. She always gossiping about everybody else, like, you know, like she's the only one who doesn't have problems. Like, we all have problems. Like, why is she always gossiping about people, right? Anyway, did you watch? What do you think? I thought episode 11 and 12 was very, very good. I love that Johnhugh and Yeonpyo have become good friends. And I'm glad that they learned from how they treated, obviously, Johnhugh, that, you know, friendship is important and everybody is going through something. And I'm interested to see how it ends for Johnhugh. I hope she doesn't end up in jail or something like that. I'm worried once they find out she's been, you know, administering drugs illegally, like what's gonna happen to her with that husband of hers who's not even supportive at all. So that'll be interesting to see how it all comes down. And it'll be interesting to see if the kids improve now that the parents are taking off the pressure of all that education. Like, the amount of pressure they put on the kids is unreal. It's just crazy. Obviously, there's desperation there in trying to make, the kids attend the best universities, but it makes you wonder, like, at what cost? Is it worth destroying your child completely because you gotta push him and push him and push him like that? But I love it. It's an excellent series. Let me know down below what you thought of episode 11 and 12. And please join me next week when I review episode 13 and 14. And as usual, if you like my video, give me a like, subscribe. It does help support my channel. And I'll see you again when I'm reviewing another excellent foreign international content. Deuces.